Oakland Raiders, Las Vegas, NFL live stream update. Hey everyone, hope you can hear me. And I'm doing this from an unusual place, actually over dinner. And actually, I like to come over when I'm in town because I spend a lot of time in Georgia. Mainly because I like to come over to Westfield Shopping Center, mainly because there's a place here called, hey, how you doing, Barry? There's a place here called Sorabal, right? And it has the best Korean food, in my opinion, in the Bay Area of a chain. And I like to come over here when I'm in town and get the Korean food, you know? But sorry for the absence last night, but after live streams on Saturday, a very long live stream on Sunday, which I hope you're all able to see, I needed just a bit of a break, you know? Hey, how you doing, Woobers14 and everyone else? And what's up is this food. I'm having this great dinner that I got at Sorabal over here, and I found a kind of a special space which is almost empty, you know, at least it was when I was here. So I'm going to adjust this live stream and then so I can see your questions, and we'll have at it. I'm going to do this for 1 hour today because I like to keep the time, you know, tight, but also there's a lot to talk about within this time frame. I'm going to spend more time on the NFL update with respect to relocation and the new numbers. Well, actually, they're not so much new, they're numbers, okay? They're based on legislation there that was in place last year, okay? But a lot of planners have acted like those numbers didn't exist, all right? That's right. Now, stream status is good. I'm going to go to the watch page over here and look at the computer right here. I've got the computer over here. I've got my dinner in front of me right here, okay? And I'm kind of in a corner, all right? This is, if you happen to be around the shopping center, this is where I'm at, all right? See that? Over there, all right? So I found I found a cubby hole, basically, to eat and live stream. Never done this before. I thought, why not use the technology to the fullest, right? And show people how media is supposed to be done. So, hey everybody, right. Hey, thanks Dan Dog. Yeah, it was a great meeting. Ray Bonnet deserves a lot of credit for that, and I think he did a fantastic job. One moment, I'm just gonna try to move this a little bit closer so that, thank you. Hold on a second. Just wanna be able to move this a little bit closer so that you can hear my voice a little bit better, all right? And there I am. Looking good? Hey, cool, I like it. Yeah, definitely. The update right now is that the project costs, hold on a second, the project cost is at $2,350,000,000, okay? Again, it's $2,350,000,000 for Las Vegas. It is not 1.9 billion, all right? And the reason for that is this, okay? And, oh yeah, I like that. You know what, Citron, I like how they let me speak as well, yeah. Hold on a second. The reason, I'll explain the numbers in a second, all right? Because what I'm doing is I'm putting out a tweet, okay? Oh, I forgot to say, Happy Pi Day, everybody. Hold on a second. Happy Pi Day. Raiders. Putting out another tweet there. Yeah. And we have 31 watching. Thank you. Okay, now, that's the good shit. You asked for the good news. That's the good news. The basic fact is that Mark Davis has to find an additional $450 million on top of the Bank of America loan so that he can pay for this project. The reason is, and this is set in stone, this is the Nevada Senate Bill 1 legislation. And the issue is that when he did this, he being Mark Davis, and the Oakland Raiders owner. The problem is that they didn't actually factor in what was in the legislation. It states in black and white that the developer is responsible for the payment of, and I quote, infrastructure related to transportation, and they have to provide an adequate sum of whatever NDOT comes up with. And NDOT is the Nevada Department of Transportation, and also related organizations, like, for example, the Regional Transportation Commission, right? But guess what, folks? They didn't cook that in. They didn't add that in. And no, this is far different than the $350 million infrastructure that you know about. That infrastructure amount concerns only what's on the stadium land, not off-site. The legislation specifically discusses off-site transportation improvements, which are of an enormous number. Okay, yeah, 2 billion. Excuse me, Barry. 2,350 million. I misspoke. All right, 2,350 million. You said how was that number arrived at? Well, it's actually 900 million. If you look at the NDOT report that was released on October 10th of last year, there are some on the Regional Transportation Commission who want the Raiders as a developer to pay for the entire amount. There are some who want a smaller amount. So you basically have to look at the 3 major interchanges that the report wants to be taken care of. And they're listed in blue in the report, and I'll show you that in a second. But the bottom line is, taking care of the improvements or the payments of those interchanges alone, that's $450 million. Freeway interchanges are not cheap, folks, just letting you know. Now, Barry Lee says if the NFL owners are smart, they will realize in the end Oakland is better. Right, that's right. That's right. Jacob P. says, how could the NFL allow Mark Davis to be in such a big debt on the project? Well, you know, they haven't. Remember, this is going before the full owners group, but with questions, okay? Ostensibly, the owners should not vote for this because it would basically wind up putting the Raiders in debt in Las Vegas. And someone would say, well, so what? The so what is, under one scenario, he could have to come back to the owners and say, I need another loan. I need your help. They would say, hey, wait a minute. We don't know if we can help you here. If he can't pay if he can't pay that loan, he's kicked out because the tenancy is pledged as collateral, not the stadium, because the Raiders don't own the stadium. Okay, so there you go. Now, Crawford, Mark Davis is better off trying to repair the bridge he has burned in Oakland. True. And let's see, LA is out as a non-starter, neither is San Diego. That's true. Barry Lee says, everyone don't forget to get your Zenny 62 t-shirt. That's right. Tomorrow is the last day you can buy your Zenny 62 t-shirt, so please do. 10% goes to Code of Support, my favorite charity. Code of Support helps veterans and their families in the United States. Now, Barry Lee, let's see here. The owners, John Davis says, if the owners approve Vegas, is it a done deal? Not necessarily, because other factors can come up which could cause a reverse vote. I'm not saying that'll happen, but I can't. This deal is smoke and mirrors, okay? The Raiders don't own the land. The Raiders don't have a developer. They don't have enough money considering their total project costs. Las Vegas as a region does not put out enough firepower to effectively pay for the project. It just isn't big enough. So there's a lot of this that just doesn't make any sense at all. You see what I'm getting at? Now, owners are tired of dealing with this madness. They will approve and let him fend for himself in Vegas. Read 510, I disagree for this reason. Because if he loses money, it affects the NFL. And if he loses money, he becomes homeless. The Raiders become a homeless tenant. I'd say it's not a matter of Mr. Davis, it's a matter of his team. His team would have no place to play. Okay? He'd come back to Oakland, of course, but they have no place to play. So the owners would be in a position where they would have to at least consider giving him additional money. So now, I agree, all smoke and no substance. Right, all smoke and no substance. Hey, Neil Nez from Arizona, welcome. Ellis Conway, how are you? Ed Flores, mainstream media makes it look like the Vegas deal is good to go. Do you have any insight on any owners' thoughts on the deal? Well, a number of people are still gathering information in, but from what I understand, there are a lot of questions, a number of owners that feel this is absolutely nuts. But you have to remember, they are honor bound by virtue of Mark Davis' position as owning the Raiders to give him the honor of being that, to have a hearing, to have a fair hearing, okay? That's what this is about. And there are others who want to reward him for at least being able to engineer a $750 million public subsidy, even though that's tenuous because of the fact you have a Democratic-controlled now Nevada legislature that is threatening to unravel that bill as I speak. Now, hey Zenny, who gets the $500 million relocation fee? It's the owners. The way it works is that the relocation fee is split evenly among the owners, and it's paid basically at once, but then the Raiders can pay it back over a 10-year period. But here's the catch. It's with interest, okay? It's with interest. It's not flat. So you're talking about something that's approaching $3 billion in total costs when all is said and done. Maybe over. The relocation is, well, actually, to be frank, I sent an email to Eric Grubman about this. The relocation fee has not been determined. Okay, so I thought $550. Someone else said $250. Someone else said $500. It hasn't been determined yet. But let's say it's $300 million. Okay, that's still $2 billion, $650 million for the total project. Again, where is the revenue throw-off that can justify a total of $950 million in brand new debt? That's what the Raiders have to carry. And that question has not been answered. You see, you thought it was I thought it was $550. You thought it was $500. Rubin says it hasn't been settled yet. In the Chargers case, when the Chargers went from San Diego to Los Angeles, that relocation fee is $550 million. Now, how is that done? You take the franchise value of the team in its current home market, right? And you subtract that from the estimated new franchise value of the organization in its new market. And that's how you determine the franchise fee. That's what I was told by the NFL. Let's see, Jason Cole said $650 million, just like what Kroenke paid for LA. Again, Eric Grubman says the numbers haven't been settled yet. In fact, I'll write that in, yeah. Hey Andrew, how you doing? Andrew Cipher, welcome. Ellis Conway says, out of curiosity, do you know how close Mark was to his dad? Some of the Vegas nonsense that Mark is driving because he feels he's trying to prove something to him. I think Mark Davis is trying to prove something to a lot of people, not just his father. And I think he perceives, he being Mark Davis, a lot of people is laughing at him. And that's why I'm very sensitive to how Mr. Davis is referred to in my space. I have a lot of respect for Mark Davis, okay? I really do. And I prefer to go back to our relationship when I first met him in Boston, thanks to Jared Bell of USA Today. And then when we talked again in Buckhead at the NFL spring meeting about 3 years ago. So that's the Mark Davis I prefer to know. Again, as I said to the group, something happened to Mr. Davis that caused him to just be hell-bent on doing this Vegas thing, even though it makes no economic sense and no business sense whatsoever. It just doesn't. Okay. Raiders are very yeah, you're right. Frederick Walker said it. The Raiders are a very sensitive organization. It's absolutely right. Absolutely right. Ellis said the same way, especially being someone like Al, who's done so much for the game. and in my case, a minority. So that's really true. He has. He really has. He really has. So where we are right now is, let me see if I've got a new answer from the league. I don't know if I have or not. I have this out there, but I don't know that they've responded to my email, and I don't have, nope, I still don't have a response to my email. And the email is a big question. The title of the subject in the subject area is a big question related to an issue in the Nevada Senate bill on the Oakland Raiders Las Vegas project. That was what it was, okay? And I also pointed to the legislation. Now, let me show you something. Let me go back to the watch page, so I don't want to miss your questions. Will you just be streaming live from the owners' meeting or just tape delay? I'm going to try to stream live on various days, and it's going to be a mixture of uploaded video to give you an idea of where I'm at, and then I'm toying with the idea of doing a live stream for both the AFC days and the NFC days, so that rather than I having a video here and a video here of what this person says, I may just do one live stream, okay, and take you from table to table. I'm toying with that because it may be more valuable from a number standpoint than the view count that I got when I did it on a per coach basis 2 years ago. So I'm milling that around in my mind, but definitely there will be live stream. You can bet your bippies on that. Now, let's see here. So I keep hearing that the Vegas thing is looking good for them. Looking good for who? I don't know. What's your take? My take is that the Vegas deal is a bad deal. It's not just my take, but you ask any reputable sports financial advisor, and they'll tell you that this deal is silly. Does Oakland have any allies in league offices? Anyone? You mean the city? Yes, many. This is basically the city of Oakland, if you will, versus the Oakland Raiders. That's how it's panning out, right? Now, would part of the $750 million go to university giving a new football stadium? Well, the $750 million is for one football stadium that will be shared by the Raiders and UNLV. The trouble is that the Raiders have been treating UNLV for the most part like they're a stepchild, okay? And that has got a lot of people in Las Vegas quite upset. Even though Mark Bidet would take issue with my characterization, on the ground, that's how a lot of people feel. Now, El Money says, how can fans that disrespect Mark would expect him to come back to Oakland? Because not every fan feels that way. Jacob P., do you think a vote could come on March 26th or 29th, or days in between? Which day do you think it will go down? I think the last day, on the 29th, because see, the way the annual meeting works is, it's a comfortable affair. The commissioner doesn't wear his tie. People are casual. They might be in polo shirt, whatever, shorts or half pant, whatever, or jeans, you know. It's casual. It's a resort. The Arizona Biltmore is a luxury resort. So the idea first is to get the AFC coach interviews out of the way, and then the AFC the next day. So my hypothesis is that the vote will occur, if it occurs, on the third day. Now, we need 9 Brandon. Let's see, is it true that 7 owners are against it? You know, I count 10. Actually, I can count as many as 15. You only need 9. You only need 9, okay? Let's see here. Ellis Conway, the city of Oakland, yes, but not individual fans. He has never made it personal, so fans shouldn't either. Actually, Ellis, he has made it personal to fans. In fact, you should take a look at my interview with Godfather Grizz, that's G-R-I-Z, here at Zenny62 on YouTube, and he'll talk to you about his exchange with Mark Davis. And Mr. Davis has personally told fans that he has, quote, no problem breaking up this fan base, unquote, all right? Now, let's see here. Stan and Dean are against it, that's right. And so is Arthur Blank, of the owner of the Falcons. List all the owners you think are against it and maybe why. Can I do that in another video? Or, you know, Austin Nobriga. Hey, Austin, did you see the video I put up? Thank you very much. Great to meet you. And thank you for the interview. Ellis Reed 510 says, Ellis, you're slow, my friend. He's not slow. You cannot disrespect someone's city and think it's an attack only on City Hall. No, I think you guys are kind of too caught up in the whole disrespect thing, all right? The city of Oakland itself has not disrespected Mark Davis in any way, at least not intentionally. Now, Mr. Davis may be upset that Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf says, hey, I don't want to spend public money on this beyond a certain amount. But she's the mayor. We're in a climate where people don't want to do that. And the Raiders and the NFL understands that. The Raiders have to understand that. Bruce Allen, my friend who's the general manager of the Redskins, has to understand that. We're in a new era with tight, adjusted for inflation incomes, an incredible international division of labor where 787 is made in 96 different countries. Wasn't like that 40 years ago. It's a different world. Davis just wants and wants, just like Sheldon said. There you go. Austin Riga. Thank you, Zinni. It's nice to meet you too. Jason P., what do you think would happen if the owners push back the vote? Would that put Oakland in a bad place? I think it would not be cool. You know, the owners giving Vegas more time to get its act together isn't the best situation for either Oakland or Las Vegas. Mainly, there's a lot of money and a lot of time being spent on this that, look, I'll be honest with you, I'm making money from this. This is great. And I've discovered the keys to the YouTube kingdom in terms of the new monetization system. But, me aside, and taking an overall, universal look at this, it's time to put this to bed. My background is in urban planning. And I will tell you, Las Vegas cannot comfortably fit and accommodate economically the Oakland Raiders. People confuse glitz with ability. It's just barely 1/3 the size of the Bay Area in terms of population alone. Economics, it's even smaller. Okay, now, the Raiders are born in Oakland. Barry Lee, also against the NFL. Oh, do you think El Monte? Good question. This is the question of the night. Do you think we might see another secret vote like we did for the Rams? Secret is a kind of a funny thing. I think when you're at the owners' meeting, what happened behind that door tends to seep out really quick. Okay, so it's not always that secret, When owners look at money or $750 million in public funds, yeah, but here's the problem. It's the Raiders' debt that's part of it, plus the project costs, okay? That's the problem. Excuse me for a second. Hey, Patrick, thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Had to take a drink here. Snapple. Ta-da. Maybe I can land Snapple as a sponsor, you think? Now, the NFL town hall meeting for Vegas and Oakland? No. NFL had its town hall meeting in Oakland almost 2 years ago now, so there's no need for that. That obligation was fulfilled. Austin says, I have a feeling there's going to be a pushback to vote to May. What's your feeling on it? I don't know why they would do that. My feeling's a little different. I think they want to get it over with. Now, again, if they walk into that meeting and say, we've got nothing on Vegas, you need to do X, Y, and Z, okay? That means that Vegas would be so far behind that they would have to take another vote in order to have a fair hearing on what's going on. Because right now, look, the Raiders have nothing there. I don't care what anyone says. They don't own the land. They've got a financing promise on documents that could unravel under certain conditions. But there's so much to be done that it's not funny. They don't have a cost study for the stadium. They don't know what the stadium's actually going to cost. Okay? That wasn't done yet. That drawing that you've seen came from the Carson Stadium. The Raiders just simply took that drawing and superimposed it on an artist's rendition of that part of the Las Vegas metropolitan area, which is really Clark County. Now, let's see here. Brandon Boyd, Zinni, I hope you're right. I believe the owners would vote yes relocation, money, and solve Oakland's Raiders Stadium. I think, that's what Brandon says. Brandon, I think they're going to vote no. I can't see anybody wanting to put Mark Davis in a situation where basically he's cutting off his own throat. Okay? Because that's precisely what's going to happen financially. Win-win for NFL if Raiders move to Vegas. How? If either it's successful and they have another Super Bowl site, or if it fails, NFL assumes debt and forces Mark to sell the team. The NFL does not want to assume that debt. The NFL assuming debt means the owners pay for it. Again, let me present this to you. The reason why Dean Spanos took the Chargers out of San Diego and moved them to LA was because the owners wouldn't give him extra money. And the feedback was, hey, look, if we help you in the way you want, we have to do it for other owners. So you think they're going to turn around and open their pocketbooks again for Mark Davis? No. So don't get that in your head. Titus Hebrew, you are gone and blocked. And so is everything you've said. So bye, Titus. Okay, now, John Davis, to me this has become a big distraction on signing a free agent. But you know what? The Raiders have gotten great free agents. Hey, Cordarrelle Patterson, come on. Have you seen the hands on him? Wow. Watt Leeds here. The Raiders Daily already said how Oakland can stay. Oakland needs NFL to act as developer, which he said almost happened in LA. That's true. It did. It could happen here, but the NFL's got to say, hey, look, we're going to spend some money. Acting as a developer means you have money to spend. Where's your money? And if the NFL's serious about it, they ought to just say, you know, we're going to stay in Oakland, we're going to build, and we're going to do it this way. Do you know anything about the detailed term sheet that Fortress sent to the NFL? I'm trying to get a copy of it, but I don't yet. Andrew Cipher, Jared Cook is supposed to visit Oakland too. Ooh, that'd be a great free agent to pick up, wouldn't it? Not have free agents come in is a good thing, although they're having. Raymond Paz, I'm doing very well. How are you? Welcome. Who is the developer in Las Vegas? It's the Raiders. Think about it. John Happel, but Zinni, the NFL assumes the debt. No, it doesn't. Then sells the Raiders for billions and puts money back in the owners' pockets. Mark is out on the street. That's your invention, okay? But there's nothing to even point to the possibility of happening. I'm sorry. I mean, it's a cool fantasy, but that's not how the NFL works, okay? The Raiders may need defensive free agents. Andrew Cipher, we need more defense too. Wyatt Weitzel, that's what the Raiders Daily said. He says NFL wants Raiders in Oakland, and if Vegas says no, NFL will work with Oakland. Sure, cool. Andrew Cipher, I don't know who Raiders Daily is. Hoping for Dontari Poe, Andrew Cipher. Eric 22. Christian McCaffrey would be a great draft pick for the Oakland Raiders. I'm telling you. Keep him in Oakland. He's a fantastic player. John Santos, how you doing, sir? Brandon Boyd, Zinni, do you think Raiders will bring in Scott McCloughan in some capacity? You know, I hope they do, but man, that's a sad story. I really feel sorry for him. I really do. Mr. McCloughan. I feel sorry for him. I think Mr. McCloughan's sounds like he's in a lot of pain, and I understand that. You know, I really do. Let's see. The NCAA has zero interest in putting a regional or Final Four in Vegas. Any chance you got the whole Ronnie Lott speech? Oh, Raymond Paz. He only spoke for 30 seconds more beyond what you saw in my video. I didn't cut it off intentionally. It was accidentally. That said, I mean, I know you'd like to hear the rest, and me too. I don't quite know. I was holding it, and I thought I got the whole thing, but I'm just letting you know you didn't miss much beyond that, what he said. You got most of it. Let's see here. Wild Cuff would be a good pickup, I agree. Jason P. The only sport in Vegas we need are NASCAR, hockey, and boxing. There you go. Andrew Cypher says, well, I don't, yeah. Anyway, hey Andrew, no negative comments like that. If you can keep it more focused, I'd appreciate it. But I don't want Mark Davis reading my comments if he happens to see this and see stuff like that, okay? It just, thank you. Yeah, don't do that. Put yourself in the man's shoes, okay? Please, don't do stuff like that. I know people are tempted to do it because of social media, but I'm asking you to resist that temptation. Thank you. Okay, now, thank you, Andrew. Appreciate it. The NFL TV contracts are looming in a few years. The league goal is to get $25 billion a year. Yep. 3 shared media markets will help it big time. You would think under that they would want to stay here and not move to Vegas. All right. So I agree with you, right? I mean, they're putting an NHL team in Vegas. That's outdated now. $750 million in public funds makes it an NFL city. Actually, Erica 22, that's not true. Because, first of all, that money that comes out of the hotel tax increase could be used for other things. The fact of the matter is, the sad fact is that Nevada is not the richest state. It just isn't. It doesn't have a state income tax. It has, of the taxes it has, not enough output to pay for all of its service needs. An entry-level job on the Strip is actually, you get this? Listen to this. Is below poverty level by $492. Okay? So you're going to tell me that Las Vegas is NFL ready? I assert to you it is not. Now, we talked about $300 million to $500 million, no exact money type yet. That's true, Jacob P. Let's see. That's very true. Now, let's see here. Just refreshing things. I cannot wait next Sunday, Zane. Oh, you mean Sunday? I can. I just want a little time to tease it up there. Nevadans want to switch the money for education in school, says no Robles. You're right. Let's see here. Dude, why do you care? Do something with your... let's see here. Alright. Now, let's see here. Let's see. Why did Libby post on Twitter that the people of Oakland would agree with some of the Coliseum land? Well, first of all, Libby didn't do that. One of her deputies did. I know who did it. I'm not going to say. Second, Libby agrees to be negotiable. So that tweet was an error. Libby does not, the mayor of Oakland, does not believe in deleting tweets. I, however, do. Because I advised her personally, hey, you should take that tweet down. But that's not her policy. Okay. Let's see here. Juan Ramirez, how does the NFL take into consideration the lack of water that Vegas has? That's another great question, and I think The Independent brought that up. I haven't seen The Independent on the stream of late, but that was The Independent's big issue, that you're going to have a problem where you have 50 to 60,000 people at halftime going to bathrooms and all flushing at once. Now, there are state-of-the-art systems to deal with that and reclaim the water, but they've never been tested in the Las Vegas arena. For if you excuse the pun, all right. Hello, Swag Muffin YouTube. How are you? Eric 22. Is there any chance Alden Smith gets to reinstated? He needs a team atmosphere. I think Alden Smith's real problem is coming from the South and to the Bay Area. For some particular reason, black men who come from the deep South have a terrible time adjusting to the San Francisco Bay Area. And I believe part of it is that they're away from their home family unit, A. B, there's a great deal of covert racism here that they don't know how to adjust to. And Jerry Rice didn't know how to adjust to it for a long time, but he eventually addressed it and then did. And that makes a person like an Alden Smith or a Jerry Rice feel lonely, even as much as they're getting accolades. And Alden Smith really, sadly, got caught up in that. I mean, he got caught up in being young out here and all the temptations and not having a family unit, and then again the covert racism that goes with that, and the pull of making the wrong judgments and hanging out with the wrong people and dating the wrong women. There you go. Andrew Cipher says NFL needs to change their contract policies. You want to keep him suspended, fine, but damn, just let the guy be around his coaches so maybe they can keep him on the playbook. Yeah, that's a good idea. Did you see the Raiders yet? Free agent Cordell Patterson. Yes, I did. Yes. No contract. I get you. Julio Jones is a throwback. Peter North says Julio Jones of the Falcons is a throwback from yesteryear. I quite agree. Juan Ramirez. Juan, how are you, sir? Vegas should address the high homeless situation. Lack of community resources. Oakland is home. I agree. Tremendous problems in Vegas. And, you know, the myth is that Vegas is this highfalutin place where the streets are paved with gold. Vegas has a large number of people that are underemployed and working, and basically are the working poor with poverty level wages. Horrible situation. Hey, God bless you too. Thank you. Cordell Patterson, welcome to where I agree. Read 510 until they leave the strip. Yeah. The skeptical age. Capitalism and the state have to go. Well, that's a different story. Let's see here. Why won't the NFL pay for the stadium? They make more than enough money. The real question is, why won't the television networks pay for the stadiums? Where they're essentially giant studios anyway. Jerome Ashley, stay in Oakland. Ian French, Jerry Rice was so good for all his time in San Fran, a little washed up in Oakland, but was still very good, and then washed up beyond the point of return. Okay. Brandon Boyd says, Zenny, the NFL should send Raiders to LA with Rams. Raiders in Oakland, man. Keep it here. Raider Nation. Cleveland Yellows, I'm not ignoring you. But if you have a question, please ask the question. Or if you want me to see, you can buy Super Chat for like $5 and I'll see it, like pinned up there. But if it is an insulting or nasty or inappropriate question, I will not only ask it, I will also block or ban you. Okay, just as a warning. So I'm not doing that intentionally, alright? Now, not to worry about the draft or just worry, right? Andrew Cipher. No, I agree. Jerry Rice is never washed up. Let's see, Cleveland Yellows. It's not anything bad at all. Hey, cool. Please ask, Cleveland Yellows. I promise you, I will recite your question. Please ask. People don't realize how great the 49ers defense was. That's true in the 80s. That's true. Let's see here. No one wants to go to LA, only be stuck in traffic. Hey man, a friend of mine said the LA is the shit now. Hey, you ever been to the Polo Lounge at the Beverly Hills Hotel? Great place. Thank you, Peter. I try to be a good man. Thank you. Ian Finch. Jerry Rice was old and I don't know about that. Airplane Blues. I don't think the NFL has a study on LA. They've got one, but I don't think it's well done. As a guy who does these sort of things, there's no one that has a computer model or, formulaic representation, mathematical representation of the region, and then another one of the team, and you basically fit the team in the region and run the model, right? They don't do that. I do. Now, thanks for answering my question. I'm out. Brandon, I'll see you. Thank you for stopping by. Oh, let's see here. I've been going for 39 minutes. I'm going to go for another 20, I think. And stop that, yeah. So, there we go. Will ticket prices go up in Vegas? Yes, they will. Oakland made us Vegas. Vegas. What's the chance of the Raiders staying in Oakland? 80%. 80% chance of the Raiders staying in Oakland. In fact, I'll write that down here. Oakland. I'm writing this down. Sorry. 80% chance in Oakland Raiders. Yeah. Right. Now, the Raiders will always have fans. Yeah, but how many? Let's see here. Juan Ramirez, you should write a book or documentary on the behind the scenes of your work that led to our beloved team to stay in Oakland. That's a good idea. That would be a good book. 80 is more like 80%? Yeah, 80%. I'm sorry, man. 80%. By the way, how are you, Motley? How you doing? Eric22 says stop. I say go. Savage. Why do they want to move the Raiders to a smaller market? You don't understand, and I don't either. The Raiders have a top five fan base in the NFL. That's true. Cleveland Yellows, do you think it's a good idea to put a team as iconic as the Raiders in a place like Las Vegas? Why or why not? No, I don't. And the reason is this. It's nothing against the Raiders. It's any NFL team right now. As I told Clark County Commissioner Chris Giuliani, the region is 6,000 manufacturing jobs short of having the proper socioeconomic structure to be able to support season ticket demand. The current proposal, and Mark Bedane, Raider president, and others have said this, rests on the idea that 42% of the ticket buyers will be tourists. So let's think about that for a moment, all right? Every time there's a big event in Las Vegas, like 32,000 and up, hotels jack up their prices. For CES Las Vegas, the ticket price, the hotel room rate was increased by 300%. Okay, so for example, I stayed in one hotel that was $30 one night. It went up to $300 the next night. I'm not kidding you. I am not kidding you. The hotel average daily room rate was so high, at almost $400, that 50% of the media that was credentialed for CES 2017 stayed home. I basically hotel jumped. Just saying. Point is, imagine a Raiders game of 65,000 people, Sunday. You've got to pay, what, $150 airfare on the average, regardless of where you're coming from, maybe a little more. Then you talk about the hotels. Okay, so the hotels, you'll get maybe, for the Raiders, $220 a night. So you're already over $300 right off the bat there. And I haven't even talked about the game tickets, $100, right? So you're looking at $450. That's your barrier to entry. Now, some people can afford to do that, but common Raider fans can't do that all the time. A lot of people aren't going to do that. And the bigger the game, the more the hotel prices are jacked up. That is the economic barrier to entry that no NFL market study has incorporated. I'm telling you, they haven't done it. Now, Jason P., let's see here. Who do you think the best player on the Raiders is right now? Oh, okay. Derek Carr. Let's see here. Andrew Cipher, if the owners reject Vegas and approve the Fortress deal, can they make Mark work with Fortress? Mark will work with him. You know, Mark Davis is not unreasonable that way. It would surprise me if he did something weird. That would be the height of irrationality, and I refuse to associate him with that thought, okay? Hey, thanks, Cleveland Yellows. I appreciate that. And thank you. and I'm glad I answered your question. Thank you for informing me as such. And I think Cordero Patterson is a valuable addition to the Raiders. Valuable. Excuse me. Sorry, I was taking a drink there. Okay, Alberto Tamayo wants me to give a shout out to Garden City, Kansas. Done. Where's Garden City, Kansas? Let's see here. Does that give Oakland the best core in the AFC? You know, Kansas City still has a strong team, okay? And a great coach in Andy Reid. So I would say that we're on a par with Kansas City. You can't knock out Denver either. Oh, excuse me for a second. I gotta block somebody here, and they are gone. Cool. Aeroplane Blues. Yes, Oakland wide receiver core better than any. Aeroplane Blues has spoken. Jacob P. Shouldn't the NFL want to vote no on Las Vegas deal due to the poverty level in the city that they should know about because of the market study? Yes. Yes. John Hakaya, what is Mark's real motivation to move to Vegas? It doesn't seem to be what's best for the Raiders. You know, I was told it's for a deeply personal reason I've talked to people about, but I'm not going to really say here, okay? A friend of mine knows, and it's not what you think, but it's one of those things that makes your head scratch. Let me put it that way. It's kind of like, really? Okay. Now, Wyatt Weezer. TRO reported that Raiders want to bring in Jared Cook, tight end from Packers, for a visit. I hope so. I hope they sign him. More in hands. Hey Z, can you please recap any new developments? I heard Jason LaCanfora say that Mark has the votes. I don't know how Mark could have the votes, but my point is that Jason doesn't know about the new cost issue, and this is reminiscent for me of the whole Carson deal when some of the same set of reporters said that Mark has the votes to move the Raiders from Oakland to Carson, and then he didn't have the votes. Okay. Does Mark want out because Libby won't go out with him? And now, Miguel Rose, Zinni, what do you think about Marshall and Newhouse joining the Silver and Black? I need to think about that one. Jacob P. I've got to go, Zinni. Homework and other stuff. Make sure to make a note about the next video being about all the owners who may vote no on why. You got it. Cleveland Yellows. Oh my gosh. Not again. What happened in Cleveland Yellows? What happened? You say, oh my gosh, not again. What happened? Let's see here. Let me, if there's somebody I need to block, let me know. So far, so far so good. All right. Let me go. Oh, by the way, there's another development I need to tell you about. One moment, please. Let me send out a new tweet. Let folks know we're around. And you know what? I'm online. I'm going to look up what you said about Jason LaCanfora in a second. See if my friend at CBS really did say that. Hold on a second. I'm typing Jason LaCanfora Raiders Las Vegas in Google. Let's see and then I'll go to Google News and see what we came up with, all right? One moment. Hey, Cleveland, I'll get to your question in a second. Let's see here. Raiders and NFL battling to win over owners. I don't see anything. I see February 17th from LaCanfora. I don't see anything here on the news that he said. This looks like a podcast. And let's see here. Let's see here. Yeah, it's just a podcast. That's all. That's all I see. I don't see anything else. So I don't know where you're getting that from. But I say Jason is wrong. I say the owners. I say the owner votes aren't there. You have to remember something. Okay? 32 minus 10 is 22, right? You only need 20. If Mark Davis gets 21 votes, if Mark Davis gets 20 votes, so sorry about that. Again, he doesn't win, all right? So, let's see here. I love Mac, but Raiders would have to see Houston. Okay. Oh, the owners' vote on relocation will occur during the NFL annual meeting. That's March 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th. I will be there. I already have my hotel room. Will Fortress release plans of the stadium in Oakland? I am told they will. If so, roughly when? I don't know. I thought it was going to be Friday of last week. I'm expecting sometime this week. Clock's ticking. So, keep your eyes and ears open. The Raiders need to draft a bunch of good defensive in this. Yeah, I agree. Surfers like the Raiders, says 1994 Ranger. Locking for a report. Chef all say owners will vote yes because they don't see any alternatives. And they will see an alternative soon. The deal will be made public. In fact, I'm glad you told me that the deal will be made public. And I know that for a fact. Before the annual meeting. I know that for a fact. Okay? Let's see here. What are we doing? Where are we? Okay. And we are at 52:09. I'm going to stop in about 8 minutes. Okay? The NFL league is about the right size, but there seems to be a demand for expansion teams. How should the NFL handle this? I think the NFL needs to have a baseline of population and gross domestic product that it will not go below for a region. And then it has to have a list of all the cities that don't have NFL teams that qualify above that mark. And then it has to have a stop so that, for example, at X point, it does not add any more teams because you don't want to wind up cannibalizing your market, okay? Which could happen if the Raiders wind up in Vegas. You have the Raiders in Vegas here. Then you've got two teams in LA just 3 hours away. So, hey Zany, do you think this affects players? Absolutely. Hasn't the deal been seen by the NFL? The latest part of the deal is still being analyzed because of the whole Bank of America situation. So it's still in flux. Let's see. Eric 22. When will the NFL look into city-friendly stadiums like the proposed Major League Stadium in Detroit? Hey, Eric 22, can you explain that more? I mean, I need you to flesh out that thought. It's an incomplete thought. Alberto Tango, how's the Raiders free agency going? Pretty good, I think. Cleveland Yellows, really, bro? Okay. Crawford 371. With the term sheet with Lott, could the seating capacity increase from 55,000 to 65,000, which is more reasonable by standards? It should increase it because 65,000 with provisions to add 5,000 more makes it Super Bowl ready. A Super Bowl ready stadium can command higher sponsorship contributions. For example, to the tune of $200 million to $300 million to $400 million in terms of naming rights. Without that, you can't get that kind of sponsorship value. Let's see, the MLS stadium in Detroit isn't a huge, ugly stadium. It has a park on top of it and living area. Yeah, that's very doable for Raiders Stadium here. Or any football stadium. Nick Zoll, what, in your opinion, are Raiders' chances on landing Poe or Hightower? Don't know. I don't want to land a percentage on something that I haven't studied, so I don't want to give you a BS answer, okay? But I'll have a regular answer for you in a few days. How's that? Maybe in a day, 24 hours. Better Super Bowl site odds, Oakland or Vegas? Oakland. Bay Area is the best place ever for a Super Bowl. Vegas, I love Vegas. It'd be interesting to have it at a Super Bowl there, but my God. The influx of people would make Vegas just crazy, man. Wow. Especially the airport. Paul Dog. Hey, Paul Dog, how are you? Question. What did you learn from the meeting this weekend that you didn't know? I didn't know there was I didn't know there was an effort to organize fans of different NFL teams to help the Raiders situation, help the Oakland situation of having the Raiders stay in Oakland. That was new. And I didn't know there was a nonprofit dedicated toward the marshaling of fan political power to bring a halt to this incessant relocation activity among sports teams. That was new for me because the organization's new. Zinni, do you think Eric Berry would fit in with the Raiders? Well, he's a chief. It's kind of case closed there. Will there ever be renderings of the Oakland Stadium? Yes, there are. Jerry Brown likes the Raiders. Okay. Ellis Conway, Eric Berry already locked up. That's what I was telling him. For the Enclave, Cordarrelle, how do you feel about the pickup? Anybody else in mind? Cordarrelle, that's how I feel right there. Thumbs up. Thumbs way up. Okay. It is now, let's see, 56, 57, all right? That fan thing looked depressing. Imagine if Pittsburgh or Cowboys were going to lose their team. There'll be people protesting at the city halls. Actually, no, Wyatt, the fan event, I didn't turn the camera around, all right, but there were 110 people that came there. It was about an hour longer than it should have been, okay? That was the only problem. Ray Bobbitt did a fantastic job in assembling everybody. The turnout was fantastic, but, you know, it could have been shorter, and so you had people leaving in the middle of it. It's Sunday. Let's see. Will Sean Smith switch to free safety? Don't know. Who is my favorite player on the 5'10"? My favorite player? Wow. My favorite player? Khalil Mack. Should Mark Davis go bald or not? No, I'm not answering it. Let's see. Cleveland Yellows, what is it that you want to know? I mean, you get frustrated really quick. I try to get everybody's questions, and you know, I don't know what is it? What's going on? Yeah, I did get to speak, and I thank Ray for letting me speak. Wyatt says, 110, do you really think that only 100 people will come to Pittsburgh to keep their team? I don't know. It depends on the day. Okay? You have to remember, that wasn't organized by... It depends. I was impressed with the turnout. I was impressed. Okay? I mean, it sounds like one of those situations where 200 people could come up and you would say, oh, it's still not enough. No, I was quite impressed. You have to remember, it was an impromptu effort. I heard about it just, 3 days before it happened. Ian, are you saying you have a petition for the Raiders in Oakland, or are you? Oh yeah, he does. I'm glad you told me that there is a change.org petition, and I'll find it and put it out there regarding the Raiders in Oakland. Mack is the Raiders' best defensive player. Go Mack. Hey William, how are you? All right, we have got less than 1 more minute, folks, and I'm done for this episode. And tomorrow I've got some plans. I'm going to start a little earlier, probably at about 6 o'clock. I'll keep you posted. What is Libby doing about this Raider thing right now? She is working hard. She's worked a great deal. No, actually, Oakland is giving $250 million in public money to the Raiders. Well, for the effort, not to the Raiders. Andrew, thank you. Good night. Libby does want the Raiders. I'm going to say that. Libby, Okay. Let's see here. Let's see. I have no idea what you're saying, Rick. So if you can just stick to it. Otherwise, I just have to block you. Anyway, I thought Dr. Death said if Oakland gives any public money, he won't be a fan anymore. Well, there's already a public contribution, so and he is a fan, so there. Paul Dog, Zinni, what do you think is going to happen on Thursday in Vegas? What's going on Thursday in Vegas? Tell me. Don't know. Let's see here. I have no idea what you're talking about. So, Elite Sand will be blocked. Okay, sorry. All right, now, next. Good night, Juan. You're real. Thank you, Patrick. Let's see here. Miguel Rose, Rick Ames. Okay. I don't know what he's doing, but if he does it again, he's going to be blocked. I blocked about 4 people today. I don't have time. I'm sorry. Okay, folks, I am, it's 8:16, and I'm gonna sign off. Good night, everybody. I'm gonna finish my dinner. It's gotten cold, but it's great. Thank you all. I'll deal with that tomorrow. See ya. Thank you all. Thank you very much. See ya. See ya.